Okay, so I just want to give a quick demo of how GPXplore works and how you can use it to help plan multi-day backcountry trips. So I'm going to start by bringing in a GPX file. So I've chosen the Montana BDR. The BDR GPX files have multiple tracks in them, and we support a single primary track and up to 5 reference tracks. So I'm going to plan out the third section of the Montana BDR for my upcoming BDR trip, going from Butte to Lincoln. Now I've got the option to ride this alt harder section of section 3, and I'm definitely interested in that. And I want to grab the other extension, and I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to do just section 3, or maybe I can push a little bit into section 4, so I want to include that so I have visibility on where it goes from there. Okay, so now I've loaded that in. You can see my main track right here. You can see all the waypoints that got brought in, and then you can see the reference tracks that were brought in. If I need to add another reference track, I can always do that through this menu. But to start with, I'm going to zoom in a little bit and do the first thing I mentioned, where I want to ride this alt harder loop. So in the past, you would essentially have to load both of these tracks in and then either visually look in your GPS and follow the alt track or switch tracks when you got close to it. I don't like to do that, so I'm just going to click this, and it's going to notice that the track starts and ends on the same, like along the primary track that I'm working on. So it's going to offer me the option to insert as a detour. So that's what I want to do. So I've inserted that, and you can see now it's following the alt harder route instead of the primary section 3 track. That gives me that. So now I've got 158.6 miles distance. That's a pretty good sized day, but what I notice here is that the track ends in the town of Lincoln, and I don't typically like to stop in a town. I don't like to stay in hotels, and so I want to find a campground. Now you can see here there's some campgrounds identified up a little bit into section 4. So what I think I'll do is extend my trip by a little bit to try to get up into the mountains there and camp a little bit higher up. So I'll click that route, and in this case it's going to give me the option to join. So because the end and the primary end and the reference start are close enough together, it's going to give me that option, so I can go ahead and join those up. And now I've got this 230-mile route. I'm clearly not going to ride that whole thing in one day. So I'm going to take a look at this campground here, and I kind of think that's probably roughly as far as I would be willing to go. So I can take a look down here and grab this guy and just pull it in, and now I'm stopping just about near where that campground is. So now I can click to replace as primary, and that's going to make this trimmed route that I see here my primary for this session. Okay, great. So now I've got 181 miles or so, and that gives me a clean track that lets me extend my day a little bit, ride an alt harder, and have a clean track that I can use in my GPS for that day of the trip. Now, if I want to export that, we have a couple options for exporting. You've got a standard GPX, which works great for things like Gaia and Onyx and those types of apps. There's a breadcrumb GPX, which is great for wayfinding devices like the Beeline and other devices that like just a clean track. And then we've got support for the DMD device, where they have an extended GPX set that lets you define hazard markers and just to work well on those devices. So that's a quick intro on how the app works and some of the key benefits. I hope you like it.